Alright, welcome to Good Timen Tools. Now, this is another thing where I couldn't find much footage on it. There's hardly anything. So I was like, man, how do you properly change the belt on this thing? Well, come to find out on Polaris 170, you seriously have to pull the back plastics off. Pull the I can't think of it right now. The roll cage, you can pull that off. Pull the plastic right here off, as you can see. So all that has to come off. Then once you actually access the motor, you got two more mounts in the back. So as you can see, a tab right here and a tab right here. Now, your best bet is some of them are gonna be hard. You don't wanna grab, so the bolt actually sits in there like this. So don't grab it from this side. Go to the nut right here. It's gonna be a lot easier. You're gonna put out everything and probably take a chance of breaking something if you try to break it from the bolt side. So try to break it from the nut side. That's something I learned. So this bike right here, it runs and everything, but there's having an issue of it had quit pulling because they had went through a little bit of water, and Polaris snorkels are garbage because they sit right in front of the tar, right in front. They serves no purpose. Why? So, but back to this is I'm doing a complete service and changing the belt. So the motor actually has to be picked up, pushed back, but there's those two mounts. There's this mount. These two cables I undid so I could give me some room to move it. I undid the intake boot off the carburetor. There's a sensor at the bottom and an exhaust I undid. As you can see, the exhaust right there. So after I got the motor slid back, I want to try to do the minimum as I can so I can just put it back in place. So going back to the belt, there's nothing really telling you how to take the belt off. I don't want to damage anything, so I was kind of iffy on what to do. So whenever I pulled the cover off, you know, I just shocked it with a hammer to break it loose, and I just followed this gasket just so I don't ruin it. Followed it with a screwdriver to pry it off the case itself. Until I pull the case off, I don't rip the gasket, and it actually stays planted onto the motor itself. So whenever I pulled that off, they did have dust and all that, and the belt does have wear on it. But so I do have them a new belt that I'm going to install. Well, on this right here, this you can actually grab. This clutch plate right here, you can actually grab and pull it back. So I was like, let me see if I can get it off by just that. So tried. I was like, man, not, you know, to put it on, I can easily just cut that one off, but to put it on is gonna give me a little hell, and I don't want to take a chance of damaging the new belt. So what I decided to do is I seen these tabs and I was like, they got these holes in here. Maybe that's a special tool that they put on there to try to get it to work. So what I did is I put a pry bar in between them, and I let the pry bar hit against right here, and then the nut just broke loose. So in case y'all, if y'all doing this, that's something to do. Just be watchful of it because they can break an ear. Unfortunately, this one didn't do anything. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up and put the new belt on. I don't know if they put Loctite on this. I'm gonna have to look that up. I'm gonna put that I'm gonna put that down below if there is Loctite. But that's how you actually take the belt off. Take this sheave off. Yeah, just unbolt it, pull it off, and then that way you can just pull the belt off. But this is just a little video to show you on how to actually do it, because there's nothing out there that tells you how to do it. So hopefully this doesn't take me too long. I'm gonna clean up everything, make sure everything's nice and right, and give a good inspection. And I better put it back together and clean it up. And I'm gonna talk to the guy who it's for and see if he wants me to do a small snorkel, just so in case they do pass through water, it doesn't get into this, because this is worthless. All this headache just to change a belt. So I'm gonna talk to him to see if he wants me to do some DIY type of things, something subtle and neat, just so he don't get mud back in there and have to go through this whole process again. Oh, one thing that's a must is, I don't know if I mentioned that, make sure that thing is clean. There's no dust or nothing like that, because if that gets in you want your weights and all that to flow, the rollers inside the primary to flow freely. So if they got any dust, that can interfere with the actual housing itself sliding back and forth and working properly. So the best thing to do is get you some air, some compressed air, and blow it out. So I'm cleaning all this, making sure there's nothing in there, because you can see the dust in here, and so I'm gonna make sure all that's clean so everything is working right. So I took the the primary off, and there is dust. Yeah, you can't really see it in here, but there is a little layer of dust. So I'm gonna go ahead, wipe everything down, clean it, make sure all that's nice to go. See, you can actually see a little bit right there. So I'm gonna make sure this is clean for the customer, and the bike should be ready to roll after that.
The shit you do to have fun these days.
The sun is coming up, are you ready to go? We can take a ride, we can take it slow. Your will is my law, I'ma let you be the boss, 'cause I'll go where you go. I'll take you to a place we